Hey guys, welcome back to the Second Time Lucky Mining channel. In today's video, we are going to have a look at the upcoming Ethereum merge. What am I doing either before the merge and then after, and then, am I buying GPUs, and how do I see this thing shaking out over the next couple of months? Now, if you enjoy the mining content, please like the video and maybe consider subscribing to the channel. It will help me out a great deal. But enough of plugging my channel, let's jump straight into it. Now, I'm not sure if you've been living under a rock, but Ethereum has been planning to move over to proof of stake from proof of work for a very long time. And they've been kicking this can down the road for feels like forever, really. But the Ethereum Foundation actually came out, stick their necks out, and then specified a date which they were targeting. Initially, it was the 18th or 19th of September, but they've actually now firmed up a block number which they're targeting to move away from proof of work to proof of stake. And that is counted to be the 15th of September. Yes, that is correct. That's less than a month away. Now, that specific date might change because, again, it's a block number, and depending on the network difficulty and the hash rate and the block times, that could be either sooner or later. But the fact is, we've got a ballpark range of the 15th of September, which is not that far away. Now, what does that actually mean for us miners? The bottom line is, after that specific block height, you will not be able to mine Ethereum anymore, either with your GPU or with your ASIC, as they would have moved to proof of stake. Yes, there might be some issues that they encounter leading up to that date, but the bottom line, or at least what I'm preparing for, is that I will not be able to mine Ethereum any longer after that specific date. Yes, there might be technically options on unmineable to mine Ethereum after that date, which would be very ironic in my eyes. But besides that, you will not be able to mine Ethereum any longer. Now that we know what the date is and what it actually means for us, what am I doing specifically leading up to the Ethereum merge, and then what am I going to do after the Ethereum merge? Now, answering the first question first, what am I doing leading up to the Ethereum merge? For me, and again, what I'm going to do is not necessarily the same as what you should be doing. You should be doing whatever you want to do and whatever your plans is. But, in this video, I'll at least share what I'm doing, right? So specifically for me, the Ethereum merge date, now that we've got a date, I at least know when it is, but I've been planning for it for a long time. It's not something that is now all of a sudden sprung on me. It's something that the Ethereum team has been talking about forever. It's come up in I don't know how many videos on YouTube, but it's nothing new for me. I'm going to stick with my current plan, and what my current plan is on my AMD GPUs, which, let's be honest, they are the most efficient and the most profitable on Ethereum. I will keep them on Ethereum up until I can't mine Ethereum anymore. So on my AMD GPUs, I'm just mining Ethereum up until the last day, and I need to switch to something different. On my NVIDIA GPUs, and again, if you followed my channel before, since I got my first LHR GPU, I've been mining, Flux. And, what I've been doing, or what my strategy has been, is a little bit front running, the pending Ethereum moving away from proof of work. So what I mean by front running is, I've been mining with all my NVIDIA GPUs as much Flux as I can while the difficulty and the hash rate is low. So what I'm trying to achieve by that is, while the going is easy, get as much Flux as I can before everybody else moves over to it, right? So I've been front running Flux a little bit on all my NVIDIA GPUs, and I'm going to continue doing that. Now, with the Flux price jumping recently, basically doubled overnight, which feels like overnight, there's now a hell of a lot more people on Flux all of a sudden. But, I'm just going to keep sticking to that strategy. I do feel that there will be a hell of a lot more people moving over to Flux, in the future, but I'll keep on front running at least my NVIDIA GPUs on Flux as long as I can. So the short version is, my AMD GPUs, I'm going to keep mining Ethereum because it's just the most profitable, and I'm going to front run, my NVIDIA GPUs on Flux for now. Now, looking at, as soon as Ethereum moves over, what am I going to do then? And the answer is, I really don't know. I've got a general idea of what I'm going to be doing, and that's what I'll be sharing with you guys. But it's going to be a wild ride. As I mentioned, this is a once in a lifetime event. I'm actually looking forward to it. Not obviously the financial side of it, so profitability will be tanked massively, but it's a historic event for Ethereum to move over to proof of stake, right? So they've been around since I started mining, so seeing such a big coin mined by so many different people moving over will have massive implications in the mining space. Now, so at least what am I looking at, and my plans for after that is, for my NVIDIA GPUs, I'll keep on mining Flux. So obviously I'll have a look at the difficulty and am I still profitable. But generally speaking, my NVIDIA GPUs, I'm just going to stay on Flux for now because I've got a nice mix of 2080 Ti's and 3070s, and for Flux they're actually very efficient. At least it's two of the more efficient GPUs specifically on that algorithm. My AMD GPUs is where the X factor lies, where I'm not entirely sure where to stick them on. My gut feel at this specific point in time is to stick them on Ergo. So between Ergo and Flux is the two things that is high on my list for probability to mine. Obviously I'll keep close tabs on what to mine and what's the most profitable at that specific point in time, but lessons that I've learned out of my past mistakes is chasing whatever is on top of what to mine, at least in my opinion, is not always the best strategy. Everybody looks at what to mine, so as soon as something's on top, a lot of people jump onto it, the difficulty goes through the roof and your earnings goes down. So what I find is sticking with a strategy in coins that you believe, if it's the most profitable or not, just sticking to your guns. Eventually, if the project delivers on their promises and on their roadmaps, that coin will eventually be profitable. So that's really what I'm doing, right? So I'm not really going to be chasing whatever's on top of what to mine. Like I said, I've done that before. Didn't work out that great for me, but so I'll stick probably to Flux and Ergo. I'll probably mine a little bit of Raven coin, Neoxa, and maybe a couple of speculative coins, but those would be the staple of what I'm looking forward to mining. Again, as I mentioned, it's going to be rough, and I'm prepared for this. What I'm working in my calculations is at least a 90% drop in profitability specifically for me. So again, that's my numbers. That might not be your numbers. You might be more optimistic than I am. I like to look at what I consider the worst case scenario and planning accordingly. If it's better, then it's better and I'm super happy about it. If it's worse, then it is worse, and I didn't plan for that necessarily accordingly. So that's really what I'm looking at specifically after Ethereum. Now, building on top of those two coins that I'm planning to mine is the other thing around profitability. As I mentioned, I'm working on a 90% drop in profitability, but what I'm going to do, and if you haven't watched that video before, I'll leave a link in the video description and tag it at the top, but I've run a little spreadsheet where I weigh up the pros and cons of keeping on mining versus buying the coin. Again, the way that I like to look at it, and that video explains, is when you are mining, you're actually paying for electricity and then getting rewarded in coins. But what that means is you're effectively buying the coin, but with the electricity cost and obviously the hardware cost as well. So you are buying the coin, but paying in electricity costs at the end of the day. So, I like to compare that price that I'm paying for mining versus, what the price of the coin is. So, for me, it's really simple. As long as it costs me less to mine the coins that I want versus buying it, I'll keep on mining. It's really that simple. I don't have to overcomplicate it. I don't want to necessarily mine just because I like mining. Yes, I might have some speculative mining that I'm just going to throw in the wind and see what comes of it. But generally speaking, for most of my GPUs, I'll be doing those type of calculations potentially on a weekly basis, depending on the hash rate, my electricity rates, and the difficulty on the coins that I want to mine, to evaluate, does it make sense for me to actually mine the coin versus just buying it off the exchange. And again, what I mean by that is I've got a set budget, which I allocate to my electricity for mining. Let's say it's $300 or $500 or $1,000, doesn't matter. So, monthly I've got a set amount that I know that I'll be spending on paying for my electricity when I'll be mining. And again, if it makes more sense for me to actually buy the coin, I'll just take that amount and actually go and buy the coin and stick it into my wallet and leave my GPUs off. I'm not planning to sell any GPUs. That's a mistake that I've made before. I'm not doing that again. If it's not profitable for me to mine, I'll just switch off my GPUs and do some maintenance on them, right? So especially these AMD GPUs, they've been rock solid. I haven't changed any pads or done anything to them. So, if it's unprofitable for me to mine, or at least it's more profitable for me to buy the coin versus mining, I'll just power down my rigs and clean them and make sure they are tip top. So that's really, how I'm going to evaluate should I be continuing mining versus buying the specific coins. Now, the other thing that I wanted to touch on, and I know there's a perception that miners are bitter or upset, or maybe the politically correct word is disappointed that Ethereum is moving away from proof of work to proof of stake. And that's true. I mean, I'd love to mine Ethereum till the day that I die, but this is the Ethereum Foundation or the Ethereum project actually executing on the roadmap. Again, it's been on the cards for a very long time. So we all knew it was coming. If you didn't know it was coming, then you probably didn't do your research, but this is just them executing. And from a bigger crypto community perspective, I really hope that the move to proof of stake goes well. And the reason for that is I don't think we need any bad publicity in the crypto space. It will just bring extra regulation that we don't necessarily want, bad press. So in general for crypto, it's not going to be a good thing if the Ethereum move to proof of stake doesn't go down well. So that's really why I hope it goes well. There will be something else for me to mine. I know that for a fact. There will be lots of other things. Might not be profitable on day one, but there will be something else for proof of work at the end of the day. So I really hope it goes well for them. I'm 100% sure there will be issues, but like anything in IT, as long as how they respond to these issues, right? So, how quickly do they patch them, fix them? That is really what is going to determine how well the go live or the move to proof of stake has happened. Now, the last thing that I wanted to talk about is GPU purchases. Now, you might be thinking I'm crazy in a bear market to buy more GPUs, but the fact is I've got a list of bear market goals, and maybe I'll do a video separately on that to discuss, the goals that I have in the bear market. And if you've got your own goals, please specify them in the comments. I'd like to hear what they are, but at least for me, what I'm targeting in the bear market, generally speaking, is to double my farm capacity. And it's not really a GPU number that I'm necessarily chasing, but it's a power usage. So I've got X amount of amps available still in my house, and I'd like to, at least at the end of the bear market, have that all utilized. It might not be profitable to be running all my GPUs and use all the power at that time, but at least theoretically, I'd like to have enough GPUs to be able to utilize the total power that I've got available safely in my home. So when the next bull market starts, I don't need to be chasing GPUs and getting scalped. That's the big thing is, I don't want to be scalped or want to be paying double MSRP and all of that other nonsense as soon as the next bull market comes. So in my opinion, this is a buyer's market, and as long as I see the GPUs that I want at the prices that I want and the brands that I want, I'll slowly keep accumulating. I've got X amount of money set out specifically for GPU purchases. So as long as I see that, I'm going to continue buying the GPUs that I actually want. That's it for this video, guys. I'd like to hear what your strategies are and what you're planning to do, either before the merge or after the merge. But if you've liked the video, please like it and maybe consider subscribing to the channel. If you didn't, please specify in the comments what you would like me to change. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.